On the news, Vice President assures federal government's drive on food security as fundamental macroeconomy at World Economic Forum in Davos. House of Representatives vows not to compromise on oversight of public institutions. Plus, correspondent on the role and power of the media in promoting legislation. Hello and welcome to Parliamentary News. I am Stella Inameti. Nigeria no longer views food security through a narrow agricultural lens, but as a fundamental macroeconomic, security, and governance issue. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this at a high-level panel on food security at the ongoing World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. He said the federal government no longer treats food security as a narrow agricultural concern, but as a strategic pillar for governance, economic stability, and regional cohesion, announcing that the Tinubu administration had begun a multi-dimensional agricultural drive designed to insulate the nation from global shocks while restoring the productivity of its food basket region.
So the government is making efforts to fund food security corridors and community-based security engagement to allow people to go back and till the soil. And there is a new program being conceived and executed by the government. And that has to do with back to the farm initiative, so that our displaced people can be supplied with inputs, with insurance, with capital, to go back for food production purposes. The third challenge, which we have a specific solution, is the issue of our import dependence and forex volatility, which has a direct impact on inflationary trends in the country. We largely import wheat, sugar, we import dairy products, and I believe efforts are being made to accelerate the production of most of these crops. And we are also using local substitutes like sorghum, like millet, cassava to flour, all in an effort to address all those imbalances.
Vice President Shettima expressed optimism that with the ongoing Renewed Hope agenda reforms, Nigeria will witness greater climate adaptation, moving from pilot to reality, as well as a boom in intra-African trade far beyond 10.7%. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has charged the nation's security agencies to rescue more than 100 worshippers recently abducted by suspected terrorists in Kumin Wali community in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State. The speaker, in a statement, condemned the attack on the churches while expressing concern over the wave of mass kidnappings around soft targets such as schools and places of worship in recent times. Speaker Abbas also expressed confidence in the Tinubu administration to tackle insecurity and called for collective efforts towards making Nigeria a safe place for people, property, and businesses. The speaker commends the courage of Governor Obasani of Kaduna State for providing the needed leadership at the subnational level at this critical time. The speaker prayed to God for the safe return of the abductors to their families and community. The National Assembly has vowed not to compromise the laid-down procedures in discharging its constitutional responsibility of effective oversight of public institutions. The House Ad Hoc Committee on Power Sector Reforms stated this at the resumed hearing investigating development in the sector. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
The Ad Hoc Committee on Probe of Power Sector Reforms was constituted last year to investigate the effectiveness or otherwise of privatization of the power sector from 2007 to date. This is with a view to address challenges confronting the sector. At the investigative hearing, key players from the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA, and the Chevron made presentation on the situation on ground.
How do we mitigate to sort out the issue of estimated billing? I think the best option is everyone should be meters. Everybody should be meters. That will solve the issues we are facing presently.
Our role is when an equipment is installed, then we go there to inspect it, test and certify it. What we normally do is, in case if any material escaped SLN certification.
The major constraint, like I highlighted before, is that of payment. We are owed billions of naira, but because we maintain an integrated system, our commitment to continue to deliver gas on behalf of the joint venture remains unshaken.
Members of the committee faulted some areas that need urgent attention, summoning the managing director of Seplat to appear before it on January 29, 2026.
My fear is that if there is no timeline for such efforts you are making to ensure local manufacturing of meters, it is possible the efforts you are putting in place could linger till the next 25 years.
I want you to understand that this committee is an investigative committee. So it has a mandate to look even into your books of accounts to determine your source of funding. So you are on oath, you have to tell the truth. We have the mandate to look into your books of accounts to determine the source of your funding, domestic and international.
You have no business with the discourse.
No, we don't have anything with the discourse.
Excellent. So what I'm trying to say here, these GENCOs, the country take it up as a responsibility to pay them off whatever they generate. The company has to come up with an intermediary that will indemnify the generating companies.
The committee is expected to embark on physical assessment of plants and project sites across the nation. From the National Assembly, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
In a democracy, Parliament makes the laws while relying on the media as the fourth estate of the realm to inform the public and hold government accountable. But who really shapes the laws that generate public interest? National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikben in this next report explores the power and role of the media in promoting crucial legislation.
Parliament is usually a beehive of lawmaking activities and processes when in session, with bills, motions, and resolutions competing for public attention. What makes the headlines depends on what is projected by the media. Little wonder the legislature cannot do without the media to disseminate the content and consequences of legislations, which are not only fine-tuned in the hallowed chambers but in the court of public opinion.
Every society rises and falls with the way that the media functions. If the media sides with the elite, the wrong elite, then that country is doomed. But if the media decides that, listen, we're going to, regardless of whose ox is God, we're going to provide substance, we're going to stand with the issues, and we're going to make sure that this is not about, sycophancy or trying to help somebody. This is about the issues. Then in that case, you help everyone, including the people that would have wanted you to be biased in the first place. Because how a society treats its weakest is how the strongest will be treated when they become weak.
From first reading to third reading when the bills are passed, the media is duty-bound to interpret and identify the implications for the masses, but not without some challenges.
So if I do not have this journalist, legislator, media relationship, how do I intend to carry out my duties effectively? You will not blame them. The blame is not solely on them, because most times they are not able to have this information. I mean, accessibility is a problem, and except I have what to report, I do not go out to misrepresent things or misinform the general public.
I think that is where we have a little problem, But I want to believe that the National Assembly today is beginning to seek ways through which they can really pass on their message.
Immediately after these questions,
one of such ways of enriching knowledge of proposed laws is through capacity building workshops like this one organized by the House Committee on Media and Publicity for reporters in the House of Representatives Press Corps and media aides in Parliament.
Democracy functions best when citizens are well informed, when institutions communicate responsibly, and when the media ecosystem upholds professionalism and public interest.
It's their perspective and how they frame it that goes. And that is why sessions like this are critical.
The focus is to inspire informed reportage of digital bills and other technology-related legislations such as the National Digital Economy and E-Governance Bill, Digital Rights and Freedom Bill, and the Child Online Access Protection Bill.
There are a lot of issues that have to do with the digital space that we as reporters are supposed to inform people who don't really understand yet. And we cannot do our job very well if we don't understand those issues. So this kind of capacity building will go a long way to build the capacity of reporters, especially journalists that cover the National Assembly.
Information is key because you are the midpoint between the legislature and the public. And so we have to ensure that what we put out there, of course, is genuine.
Attention span is very short for many people because if it doesn't touch their pocket, they are not concerned. But the media is able to then say, listen, this bill sounds like e-governance doesn't touch your pocket, but it touches your pocket. It touches on inflation.
Substance is important, and at the heart of substance is the fact that we need to put the people first. Whether for us who are in public service, who are reporting, for people to know what the Parliament is doing, or for those who are holding the legislature to account, the people first. And it's not really difficult to know what the people really want.
Experts and practitioners believe that the media should stay vigilant in holding lawmakers accountable, shaping public discourse, and amplifying the voices of citizens regarding any piece of legislation. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
And joining us now on Parliamentary News is the spokesman of the House of Representatives, Akin Rotimi, to shed light on the role of the media in the legislative process. Thanks for joining us. For a start, let us know your thoughts on the place of the media in ensuring accountability and transparency in the legislature.
Well, I know that the media, of course, are very responsible. They know as well the things that need to be kept, somewhat confidential in the interest of national security. And that's why it's not about censorship. It's about responsibility. It's about self-regulation. It's about the media by themselves. I mean, you have structures within your various media houses that ensure that, yes, even though you have certain information, not only about how it is used, but, if it is timely to report on certain things that you know that might be, detrimental to national security issues. So that's why, for us, it's very important. These are things that are learned within the professional bodies, NIPR, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Nigerian Union of Journalists, and their ethics, right, that guide the profession of journalism, media and journalism. And, if you have all comers, simply because you have access to the resources to be able to put together a platform, and you're doing things that, work contrary to the ethics of the profession and national security, of course, these are issues that I think that even the media needs to take a lead in being able to self-regulate. But you're very correct about it. There is that need to balance these issues to ensure that, yes, you are advancing the profession, you are advancing the need to break news and allow Nigerians to be able to be informed, but you are also conscious of the responsibility to also do that within the confines of the ethics of the profession.
Okay, how can the media effectively balance the need for press freedom and protection of national interest or national security?
We have a press corps that's professional, that have access to the chamber in many instances. We also ensure that we as much as possible, give access to committee meetings, to public hearings. So, no one has been, in doubt of the fact that this is indeed the people's house. We've democratized access to our processes. And then we also go the extra mile to be able to break these things down. Our digital media strategy is such that, it's easy for the media to be able to pick up on these issues and be able to report accurately. And then you'll find as well that all of our materials from order papers to notice papers to votes and proceedings. Everything is liberally provided for the media to be able to do your work. And last but not the least is that we also facilitate avenues for capacity development, like you're seeing today, right? This is a training on, issues of digital rights and governance, some of the legislation that we have before us, so that the media can better understand. We're working with Paradigm Initiative, who's one of the subject matter experts in that field, to be able to give journalists the understanding, the conceptual grounding on issues around digital rights and, artificial intelligence. I mean, this is a new niche area that's evolving, and we felt it's important that starting out the year, we should have our journalists grounded in these issues. So this is one of many capacity development initiatives that we carry out to ensure that our media, press corps, and other media stakeholders are in a very, very good position to carry out their constitutional duty of accurately reporting the activities of the Parliament.
Okay, we'd also like to know what strategies can the House of Representatives employ to strengthen collaboration between the media to ensure that legislative activities are reported robustly and, of course, accurately.
By the grace of God, I'm one of the co-sponsors of the bill that has now been harmonized into one and being taken forward. There is a digital e-governance bill. I know that that's an executive bill that seeks to revolutionize, government structures, to be able to have a seamless and integrated, infrastructure for running government more effectively, leveraging, ICT tools. And then you have the child online access right. I think that's even the most profound, sponsored by Honorable Olumide Oshoba, which seeks to also regulate access of young children to, the internet, and also to protect them while, they're interfacing on the internet. And this is something that we're very proud of, even though it's one person that sponsored it, but the entire House, it's received bipartisan support. It's received support across board because we believe that Nigeria should lead the way. This is the first of such legislation in Africa. It's been passed in other jurisdictions, including in Australia and some other jurisdictions. And we're coming to that point. We believe that we will receive concurrence from the Senate and eventually presidential assent to be able to regulate that space and protect our children. But overall, there are about a dozen very progressive bills that touch on artificial intelligence, digital rights, online safety and security and things like that. Yeah, and it's reflective of the fact that the 10th Assembly is a very progressive assembly. Again, I like to always reference our legislative agenda. These are things that we've promised that we'll do in the legislative agenda, which we're advancing.
Spokesman of the House of Representatives, Akin Rotimi, many thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We'll take a break now. When we return, more news.
Every week, a voice stands out, a leader inspires, and a lawmaker makes the difference. From the chamber of debates to the hearts of the communities, we celebrate men and women shaping our democracy. Who is making impact? Who is driving change? Who is standing tall for the people? Join us as we spotlight excellence, celebrate service, and honor leadership. Legislator of the Week, where democracy meets inspiration. Stay tuned for Legislator of the Week, showing only on NTA Parliament. Don't miss Legislator of the Week, your window into impactful leadership.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Yobe State House of Assembly is currently on its annual recess. But before then, one bold step taken by the House was the first reading of an executive bill seeking to establish Yobe State Senior Secondary Education Board. In this report, Assembly correspondent Babagana Kulu follows up on the bill and its significance to the educational development of Yobe State.
The Yobe State government had positioned education as a top priority with significant investment and reforms aimed at enhancing the sector. Evidence to that is the recent move by the state government to establish senior secondary education boards. To this end, the Yobe State House of Assembly, before it went on recess, received this bill for an act to establish Yobe State Senior Secondary Education Board 2026. The bill, considered importance to educational growth by educationists, was unanimously welcomed by all Assembly members.
Developing education sector means developing human resources, economic resources, and every aspect of life. A basic education is very important because, let me give you an analogy. If you are building a house and you build the house on a sound foundation, what will happen? Your house will last longer. So the better the foundation, the better the education.
While commenting on the stature of the bill, the chairman, House Standing Committee on Basic and Secondary Education, Maina Dikumagana, explained that the new board will impose the minimum standard of senior secondary education in the state and as well manage the state senior secondary education fund.
All the members of the House of Assembly have been issued with this copy to go and study, because when we are on the recess, but they will go and study before we'll come back. So any member, when he come back, he will contribute accordingly where he understands, he will question and do whatever he likes.
The second reading on the bill will be taken when the House resumes from the annual recess. From Yobe State House Assembly, Babagana Kolo, NTA News.
As expectation for a credible and peaceful council election in the FCT builds up, INEC and security agencies say through coordination and consultation, it's been able to tighten loose ends towards ensuring that election materials and the election process is secured and violence-free. This was revealed during a consultative committee meeting on security preparatory to the February 21 FCT elections. Abdullahi Ajia reports.
For interagency collaboration, it is top-notch from the security angle.
With the days of the FCT area council elections getting closer, the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, co-chaired by the FCT Resident Electoral Commissioner Aminu Kasimu Idris and Commissioner of Police FCT Milad Ntawai, says issues of security, deployment of election materials and resources have been adequately taken care of through a high-level stakeholders coordination and consultations that is proactive to the peculiarities of pre, during, and post-election activities.
INEC carrying out its constitutional duty of conducting elections. We find your collaboration with us invaluable. Yeah, it is your collaboration that makes our efforts, our environment conducive for us to impute what we're supposed to do and also get the electorate the confidence to come out and participate in the activity of voting and counting the votes and declaring winners.
For all support that I have seen, it gives me the feeling that from the security angle, we will not fail. I strongly feel that everything that has been put on the table so far, we will have a seamless election at the end of the day.
And I just want to implore Abuja residents to be law-abiding. You know, people should go out and vote. It is very important for us to be part and parcel of, you know, the democratic process.
The platform provided an opportunity for the latest update from INEC FCT on what have been accomplished and the ones inside.
We've also commenced dialogue with National Union of Road Transport Workers. We know how important this is. It's ongoing, and we are trying to use, because there have always been one major issue that we have when it comes to deployment, early deployment, which is very critical to the election process. We've been able to carry out a 6-week training. We call it route training for core members, all the core members that are deployed to the different area councils in the FCT.
Even with much assurances given on a credible poll, stakeholders also advised that INEC should ensure an efficient and effective functionality of machines to be used on the fields on the election day. In Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
The renewed Hope administration's commitment to sustainable infrastructure development has continued to attract widespread commendations from key stakeholders in the road sector. The latest of such commendations came from the national media team on a tour of the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway Legacy Project in Sokoto State. Usman Zubairu has more.
The Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, spanning over 1,008 kilometers, is a transformative project set to revolutionize Nigerian transportation landscape, boosting trade, opening new economic corridors, and strengthening ties between the country's northern and southern regions. So far, significant progress has been recorded, starting with the kilometer 108 in Katem village. The construction company handling the project is working on reinforcing concrete pavements in addition to the installation of solar street lights. In Kebbi State exit, over 135 kilometers artwork have been completed. Our construction work has achieved appreciable level. Project teams promise to ensure that the highway meets world-class standard.
I'm doing about 500 meters of stabilization per day. Then I'm doing prime as well with it. And then my CRCP, I'm just waiting for my second batch plan to start.
And we are always encouraging you to continue with the effort you are making to ensure that this project completed a stipulated period of time.
From this very project, we've gone far with artwork up to kilometer 135 kilometer. So the only distance that is left now between Kebbi and then Sokoto State is only 17 kilometers.
Part of the tour were the commission of emergency repairs failed culverts in Sokoto and Kebbi states. The exercise is aimed to highlight the progress, quality and impact of federal road projects across the country. Members of the media tour team explained that the initiative is designed to enable Nigerians through the media access federal government's intervention in the road sector. Usman Zubairu, NTA News.
And that concludes the news, but you can watch this news and other programs on our social media platforms displayed on your screen. On behalf of the production crew, I am Stella Inameti. Thanks for watching.